Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Roadmap to Freedom. We are at the ninth session of the first theme of the project. Let's examine another failure that has led to this crisis: failure to integrate. That is tied together the sum of the social problems. Let's look at 12 major problems that adversely affect all of you directly or indirectly. Increasing threat of war, increasing pollution, increasing crime, increasing energy crisis, increasing inflation, increasing low quality education, increasing poverty, racial conflict, unemployment, job dissatisfaction, increasing pollution, increasing theft of inventions. The question is, can you identify the connection between every one of those problems? For example, what is the connection between increasing threat of war and theft of invention? Let's say a man's invention is stolen. What's the got to do with suddenly finding ourselves, the entire nation, involved in a war? What has increasing inflation got to do with the pollution? What is the common connection between any of those problems and the rest? In the past, we have failed to correctly identify the connecting link that will unify all of those seemingly unrelated problems. We failed to accomplish outside of physical sciences what Isaac Newton accomplished within the physical sciences about 3 centuries ago. If you go back prior to Newton, there was, at that time, before Newton, no clearly established connection between the various branches of physical sciences. There was no connection between knowledge about the light and knowledge concept of mechanics. Now we knew a little bit about light and we knew a little bit about mechanics, but we didn't know that there was any connection. There was no connection between motion on Earth and the motion of the planets. Newton discovered then a few basic principles that are so large in their scope and magnitude, that they represent the single greatest step that has carried us forward to our quest for useful knowledge. Newton demonstrates that all of this previously disconnected knowledge is connected. He explains that everything in the physical sciences is related in a rational way to everything else in the physical sciences. Integrate means to bring together into a whole. The Newtonian integration, then, is the intellectual foundation of our entire modern world of technology. And so, the physical sciences were integrated 3 centuries ago. Since that time, the knowledge we have learned in science has been used in two conflicting ways: one to build and another to destroy. What is required is to get smart outside of physics. I will demonstrate that it's not possible to completely solve any of the dozen of problems that I mentioned individually. I will demonstrate it is all or nothing. Like, for example, how you can solve the problem of immigration without solving a problem of stealing money from producers and giving them to anyone who is in need, or right of the Congress to borrow money and make our children pay for any program they create. Either they will be solved or none. Either they all be solved or none of them will be solved. A solution will be essentially a product of a grand social integration. Another failure is this: a failure to apply the positive energy of the physical sciences to build solutions in the principal social problems. I will demonstrate that in the physical sciences, when we have been confronted with difficult problems, the approach to the solution, the strategy was positive. In contrast, when we've been confronted with difficult problems with respect to our society, the approach to the problem, the strategy, I will demonstrate, has been almost exclusively negative. The approach has been what I called symptom fighting. For 6,000 years, all we have been doing is fighting symptoms. Fighting what? To fight the things that are wrong, to fight the people that are wrong, to oppose those who are wrong, to oppose injustice, to fight tyranny. But are they, during these 6,000 years of fighting, discovered any solution to the problem they're fighting against? The point I will make is this: there has never been a single solution to a major problem throughout the history that was ever discovered by fighting the problem. In contrast, what is the strategy of the physical sciences? What strategy would you employ if your goal was to get from the Earth to the moon? Well, you fight the main force that is holding up your progress. Just what is the main force that holding up your progress? If your destination is moon, I hope you know, gravity. You could have 100 million screaming demonstrators, but the demonstration will fall upon deaf ears. Now, of course, if anyone were to actually march against gravity, riot against gravity, most people would look upon them as lunatics. But if the very same people go on strike against what they believe to be some great social evil, not only are they not called lunatics, but they will be looked upon as heroes. I will prove that fighting the things you dislike, even when the things are in fact wrong, will be no more productive than fighting gravity. If your goal is to reach the moon, there is a rational, positive strategy that you might achieve the worthy destination. But you will never get there through demonstration or fighting your way to the moon. There is a smartphone in front of me. Can you fight this smartphone into existence? It's not how it was accomplished. You cannot riot it into existence. You cannot bomb it into existence. The mere fact that people fight symptoms is an open admission of failure. If you innovate a cure, there were no longer any symptoms. The only time you have continued symptoms, it's when you have failed to find the cure. Let's stop here. We will continue talking about failures and slowly we'll move towards solutions. Until that time.